Get your daily news fix with News Source Scrawler's latest edition, January 25, 2025, featuring crypto, politics, tech. Get your daily news fix with News Source Scrawler's latest edition, January 25, 2025, featuring crypto, politics, tech, and more. Number 1 hit and more. YouTube music charts. Global top songs from January 10 to January 16, 2025. APT. Collaboration between Rose and Bruno Mars titled Die With a Smile. DTMF, song by Bad Bunny. Spotify Weekly Top Songs Global, spanning from Friday, January 10 to Thursday, January 16, 2025. DTMF by Bad Bunny. Die With a Smile featuring Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars. APT. By Rose and Bruno Mars and Bail Inevitable by Bad Bunny. Nintendo US Digital Top Sellers starting January 20, 2025. Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, Super Mario Party Jamboree, Minecraft, Stardew Valley. Steam's most popular games. Highlighting the globally top-selling and most played games on Steam. Based on the top 100 products by revenue list, for the period from Tuesday, January 7, 2025, to Tuesday, January 14, 2025. Counter-Strike 2, Marvel Rivals, PUBG Battlegrounds, Path of Exile 2, Dota 2. CISA's Cybersecurity Alerts and Advisories. CISA has issued the Cybersecurity Performance Goals Adoption Report. NovaSky AI Sky 1-32B Preview. This is a 32B reasoning model that has been trained using Qwen 2.5-32B. Instruct with a dataset of 17,000 items. Its performance matches that of the O1 Preview model in both mathematics and coding. The development was carried out by the NovaSky team, which is part of the Sky Computing Lab at UC Berkeley. North Korean IT workers are reportedly holding data hostage for extortion, according to the FBI. Meanwhile, The Guardian highlights that Microsoft has strengthened its relationship with the Israeli military to offer technical support amid the Gaza conflict. Additionally, the British Museum has been compelled to partially close following an alleged IT attack by a former employee. In the United States, a federal judge has issued a temporary injunction against Trump's executive order that seeks to redefine birthright citizenship. Meanwhile, the ICC prosecutor has made a formal request for warrants to be issued against Afghan Taliban leaders in connection with the persecution of women. Additionally, Pakistan's parliament has enacted a bill that imposes extensive controls over social media. Call of Duty's budget is reportedly reaching up to $700 million for each game. A GDC survey reveals that PC development has skyrocketed, with 80% of developers currently creating games for PC, surpassing the number working on PS5 or Xbox games by more than double. Epic plans to expand its mobile game store by assisting developers with covering their iOS fees. Ancient Roman statue of Athena revealed after nearly 300 years of concealment. Spotted hyena discovered in Egypt for the first time in 5,000 years. Cursed tablet unearthed in a Roman-era grave in France, directing malevolence towards adversaries by summoning Mars, the god of war. OpenAI introduces Operator, an AI agent capable of executing tasks independently. Meanwhile, Anthropic unveils a citations feature designed to minimize AI errors. Additionally, AI startup Perplexity debuts an assistant-like feature for Android devices. A developer has constructed an endless maze that ensnares AI training bots. Frontier AI systems have crossed the dangerous threshold of self-replication. Meta intends to allocate $65 billion to AI investments, while asserting the superiority of its DeepSeek technology. NATO chief warns that halting Putin will require trillions in investment unless they aid Ukraine promptly. Trump, during his Davos speech, criticizes oil producers for extending the Ukraine conflict and announces his intention to urge OPEC and Saudi Arabia to significantly reduce oil prices. Trump expresses his willingness to meet with Putin at once to achieve a resolution to the Ukraine war. New York State Comptroller DiNapoli reports that the homeless population in New York has doubled. Canada has decreased international student permits for the second consecutive year. Mexico has declined a landing request for a U.S. military flight intended to deport migrants. HTC from Taiwan plans to sell a portion of its XR unit to Google for a sum of $250 million. Meanwhile, OpenAI is facing difficulties in determining the valuation of its stake in Microsoft, as part of a deal to transition into a for-profit entity. Additionally, Apple has appointed a seasoned software executive to assist in addressing issues related to AI and Siri. ADL shifts its stance on Elon Musk following backlash from his salute, as the organization criticizes Musk's Nazi jokes after the salute incident. Reddit users prohibit links to X in groups to demonstrate against Elon Musk regarding Nazi salute accusations. Marjorie Taylor Greene criticizes Britain for declining the Gulf of America designation. Trump declares that the U.S. does not require Canadian energy or vehicles, and suggests that Canada could become a U.S. state to evade tariffs. Ships are reportedly preparing to depart from China with components for missile propellant, heading towards Iran, according to officials. Meanwhile, Donald Trump has expressed his desire to engage in nuclear discussions with both China and Russia. Additionally, the EU military chief has suggested that deploying European troops in Greenland could be a logical decision, as reported by Welt. CZ, the wealthiest individual in the cryptocurrency world, transforms his VC firm into a massive family office, rebranding Binance Labs as the $10 billion YZ Labs. David Ballin, co-founder of the French cryptocurrency company Ledger, is released following his kidnapping. Trump issues an executive order to boost cryptocurrency, creating opportunities for a digital asset stockpile, and instructs a crypto working group to develop new regulations and investigate a national stockpile. Robert Eggers, known for Nosferatu, is set to direct a sequel to the 1986 film Labyrinth. Films enhanced by AI, The Brutalist and Emilia Perez, receive Oscar nominations for acting and editing. Taxi Driver screenwriter Paul Schrader praises AI as smarter and better than Oscar-nominated writers, claiming he received original and well-developed film ideas from ChatGPT. He questions why writers should spend months on ideas when AI can offer them instantly. Mukesh Ambani plans to construct the world's largest data center in India, equipped with NVIDIA AI chips. Meanwhile, Trump dismisses Elon Musk's criticism of his AI announcement, suggesting Musk's dislike for one of the involved individuals. Trump's staff is reportedly upset following Musk's negative remarks about the AI project, as a Trump spokesperson defends the Stargate criticism, stating that the investments are indeed proceeding. The Stargate artificial intelligence project is expected to exclusively support OpenAI. Additionally, Trump has signed an executive order aimed at developing artificial intelligence that is free from ideological bias. A China-led study has detected chorus waves in space, raising concerns for future space travel. Scientists have identified a space chorus located a significant distance from Earth. Additionally, hidden passageways in Leonardo da Vinci's sketches have been discovered beneath a medieval castle in Milan. Furthermore, a genetic breakthrough has revealed the Andean origins of the pathogen responsible for the Irish potato famine. Game on AI chatbot startup founder faces fraud charges in San Francisco. China, Thailand, and Myanmar collaborate to eliminate online scam operations. Purdue Pharma and Sackler family agree to a $7.4 billion settlement for OxyContin-related lawsuits. Sony will cease production of Blu-rays and other discs by February 2025 because of declining demand. Apple reports that 68% of iPhones are currently using iOS 18. Nielsen announced the end of its panel-only TV ratings, which have been in use for decades, 2 days ago. Nielsen's new Big Data Plus panel TV measurement has received accreditation from the Media Rating Council, MRC, in preparation for the 2025 upfront. George R.R. Martin, known for his work on Game of Thrones, has collaborated on a physics paper titled Superhero Virus. Renowned composer Hans Zimmer has been invited to create a new version of Saudi Arabia's national anthem. The Beatles, iconic in the music world, have been nominated for the Brit Awards for the first time in more than 4 decades, with Charlie XCX leading the nominations. HSBC scraps global money app Zing a year after launch. Ethereum gets Wall Street Salesforce as token lags Bitcoin. Reuters reports that whistleblower says MasterCard, Visa failed to stop payments for child sex abuse content on OnlyFans. Israel requests a delay from the United States in its withdrawal from South Lebanon, while Hezbollah warns against Israel's attempt to extend its occupation of Lebanon. The United States Air Force plans to enhance the Cyprus Air Base to serve as a humanitarian staging point for the Middle East. Additionally, U.S. private security contractors will manage a crucial Gaza checkpoint, as officials confirm their involvement in overseeing the truce in Gaza. Singapore's Prime Minister cautions against a third world war if the U.S. and China compel the rest of the globe to choose sides. He notes that the likelihood of the U.S. isolating itself from China is low and suggests that other nations can assist in managing their rivalry. Meanwhile, a Russian security official indicates that the risk of conflict between nuclear powers is increasing. Additionally, South Korea reports that North Korea is set to dispatch more troops to Russia following casualties. TikTok is considering alternatives to a sale, according to ByteDance Ford. Meanwhile, Bloomberg notes that Trump is minimizing the risk of China using TikTok for espionage against Americans. The Washington Post reveals that disagreements with Elon Musk led Ramaswamy to withdraw from the Doge cost-cutting initiative, resulting in Musk taking over. New scientists suggest that the Trump-supported Stargate project might impose a burden on the U.S. energy grid. Colorado DNA analyst faces forgery charges, casting doubt on over 500 cases. A Department of Labor report reveals that U.S. insurers have not adhered to mental health coverage laws. A report indicates that 61% of young adults in the U.S. are experiencing financial stress. Apple and Google's extensive mobile platforms are under investigation by UK antitrust authorities for two separate issues. India requests that Apple and Google allow national apps to be available on their app stores. In India, the government is asking Uber and Ola to provide a response regarding dual pricing depending on phone models. Rolls-Royce secures a record £9 billion contract from the UK Ministry of Defence for nuclear submarines. Israel instructs UNRWA to cease operations in Jerusalem and vacate its premises by January 30th. Putin reiterates Trump's assertion that the Ukraine conflict might have been prevented if he had been in power. Bank of Japan increases interest rates to the highest level in 17 years, causing the yen to rise. Trump urges a $1 trillion investment from Saudi Arabia and seeks lower oil prices. Shanghai distributes additional consumption vouchers following a significant drop in retail sales a month ago. It was previously announced that several Chinese cities are issuing a new batch of consumption vouchers to maintain a positive trend ahead of the Spring Festival holidays. Zelensky is no angel, as Trump criticizes Ukraine's president for wanting to fight at war's onset, and Trump suggests Ukraine shouldn't have fought back against Russia. Russia issued ultimatum to Ukraine in 2022 to replace Zelensky with pro-Kremlin oligarch Medvedchuk, president says. Hungary threatens to disrupt Russia sanctions unless Ukraine reopens gas transit. SoftBank CEO Masayoshi Son admits he made a foolish decision to invest $18.5 billion in WeWork. Boeing anticipates a $4 billion loss for the fourth quarter following a tumultuous 2024. Wall Street banks are gearing up to sell billions of dollars worth of ex-loans. The State Department has implemented a one-flag policy at embassies and outposts, prohibiting the display of Pride and BLM flags, and mandating that only the stars and stripes be flown at State Department buildings globally, following Trump's directive. Nintendo has been nominated for a GLAAD Award for its portrayal of transgender characters in the game Paper Mario. The Hill has remarked that women, gays, transgender, and queer Americans serve in the military because men are unwilling to do so. Owen's report reveals that economic losses from natural disasters in 2024 amounted to $368 billion, primarily due to hurricanes Milton and Helene, severe convective storms in the United States, and widespread flooding in Europe. Actuaries warn that the global economy might experience a 50% reduction in GDP from 2070 to 2090 as a result of climate shocks. UNICEF reports that nearly 250 million children were unable to attend school last year because of extreme weather conditions. Electric cars in the UK have a lifespan comparable to petrol and diesel vehicles, according to a study. The 2025 Tesla Model Y is introduced with a cybercab appearance and turn signal stalks. The Trump administration is evaluating the U.S. automatic emergency braking rule. 6 months ago, automakers requested the U.S. agency to reconsider the emergency braking rule. Marvel actor Benedict Cumberbatch mentions that Doctor Strange will not participate in the Avengers Doomsday event, but will play a crucial role in Secret Wars. In 2024, Squid Game became the most-watched series in a single week, with 4.9 billion minutes viewed according to Nielsen. Additionally, director M. Night Shyamalan has been acquitted of copyright charges in the Servant trial, as decided by the jury. Trump supports Tether and Circle by linking stablecoins to the dollar, aiming to maintain dollar supremacy through his executive order. Meanwhile, Trump promotes stablecoins but opposes central bank digital currency. Crypto expert David Sachs describes NFTs and memecoins as collectibles, not securities. In 2024, U.S. home sales dropped to their lowest point in nearly 3 decades due to rising prices and mortgages. Team Trump demands further ingratiation from Mark Zuckerberg. Trump appoints Attorney General to scrutinize Biden administration. Former Fox News host Pete Hegseth officially named as Trump's defense secretary. X declines to take down stabbing video viewed by Southport murderer. Instagram and Facebook restrict and conceal posts from abortion pill providers. Spirit Airlines introduces a new dress code prohibiting offensive tattoos and revealing attire. White House says migrant deportation flights with military aircraft have begun. Trump signs executive order suspending foreign aid for 90 days. Trump tells Danish PM he's serious about taking over Greenland in fiery call that has Danes in crisis mode. In the UK, the number of children identifying as the wrong gender has increased by 50 times. Microplastics in the bloodstream can cause cerebral thrombosis by obstructing cells and result in neurobehavioral issues. According to SCMP, Hong Kong intends to prohibit vaping and public possession of e-cigarette cartridges, as stated by a source. Netflix introduces board and party games to enhance your viewing experience, as its cloud gaming service undergoes tests in the U.S. Apple TV Plus commits to investment obligations with the French television industry. Brad Pitt is set to star in and produce Heart of the Beast, an action-adventure film by David Ayer for Paramount. Get your daily news fix with News Source Scrawler's latest edition, January 23, 2025, featuring crypto, politics, tech, and more. Number 1 hit and more. YouTube music charts. Global top songs from January 10 to January 16, 2025. APT. Collaboration between Rose and Bruno Mars titled Die With a Smile. DTMF, song by Bad Bunny. Spotify Weekly Top Songs Global, spanning from Friday, January 10 to Thursday, January 16, 2025. DTMF by Bad Bunny. Die With a Smile featuring Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars. APT. By Rose and Bruno Mars and Bail Inevitable by Bad Bunny. Nintendo US Digital Top Sellers starting January 20, 2025. Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, Super Mario Party Jamboree, Minecraft, Stardew Valley. Steam's most popular games. Highlighting the globally top-selling and most played games on Steam. Based on the top 100 products by revenue list, for the period from Tuesday, January 7, 2025, to Tuesday, January 14, 2025. Counter-Strike 2, Marvel Rivals, PUBG Battlegrounds, Path of Exile 2, Dota 2. CISA's Cybersecurity Alerts and Advisories. CISA has issued the Cybersecurity Performance Goals Adoption Report. Novasky AI's Sky 1-32B Preview. This is a 32B reasoning model that has been trained using Qwen 2.5-32B. Instruct with a dataset of 17,000 items. Its performance matches that of the O1 Preview model in both mathematics and coding. The development was carried out by the Novasky team, which is part of the Sky Computing Lab at UC Berkeley. Hubble telescope images were merged into a massive mosaic of the nearby Andromeda Galaxy, forming the 417-megapixel Andromeda Galaxy panorama, which took more than 10 years to complete. Researchers at MIT have created sophisticated robotic insects designed for pollination. Scientists and composers collaborated to produce a natural rendition of Colombia's national anthem. Sam Altman from OpenAI is scheduled to provide a briefing to U.S. officials regarding advanced AI agents with expertise comparable to that of a PhD. Meanwhile, the X Games will conduct an experiment with an AI judge for the first time this week, thanks to a new partnership with Google. Additionally, ByteDance, the owner of TikTok, intends to allocate $12 billion for AI chips in the year 2025. Lone Star intends to establish data centers within the moon's lava tubes. The CEO of the French AI startup Mistral states that the company is not available for acquisition and is planning to go public. A survey conducted by GDC highlights a challenging year marked by layoffs and skepticism towards AI among game developers, with the report indicating that 1 in 10 respondents experienced layoffs in 2024. Circle has joined the tokenization competition by purchasing Hashnote, a $1.3 billion real-world asset issuer. According to reports, cryptocurrency executives are cautioning that Trump's memecoins could negatively impact the industry. Crypto.com has introduced institutional-level exchange services in the United States. Samsung introduces features similar to Apple Wallet, including layaway and tap-to-send for wallet. In the UK, a digital driving license will be available in 2025, accompanied by a Gov.UK wallet and app to streamline access to services and documents such as digital driver's licenses, along with improvements to public sector technology. Microsoft's LinkedIn faces legal action for revealing customer information to develop AI models. News Corp, owned by Murdoch, proposes a settlement to Prince Harry to end a prolonged lawsuit. Meta entices TikTok creators with $5,000 bonuses, content agreements, and complimentary verification. The extremely violent Toxic Avenger movie starring Peter Dinklage is finally set to be released in theaters. Cloudflare reveals that in 2024, its self-operating DDoS protection systems thwarted approximately 21.3 million DDoS attacks, marking a 53% rise from 2023. On a typical day in 2024, Cloudflare intercepted an average of 4,870 DDoS attacks each hour. According to sources, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security has dismissed external consultants, as the investigation into China was reportedly interrupted. Former President Trump has granted a pardon to Ross Ulbricht, the founder of Silk Road, for his involvement in an online drug trafficking scheme. Singapore accuses a man of aiding in the creation of documents linked to a $2.2 billion money laundering case. According to Deloitte, Real Madrid becomes the first club to achieve a revenue of €1 billion in a single season. Oxfam reports that billionaires' wealth increased significantly in 2024, with 4 new billionaires emerging every week. Israel's chief military officer steps down due to significant failures during the October 7th attack. Trump expresses doubt about the sustainability of the Gaza ceasefire and removes U.S. sanctions on Israeli settlers in the West Bank. According to the Wall Street Journal, Google hastened to sell AI technology to Israel's military following the Hamas attack. Joker, Folie à Deux receives multiple Razzie Awards nominations. Elon Musk confesses to cheating in Diablo and Poe, declaring himself a living god of video games. Over 100 elite athletes request replacements for LVMH's Olympic medals, which are already rusting. OpenAI collaborates with SoftBank and Oracle on a $500 billion data center initiative, while Trump unveils AI infrastructure investment supported by Oracle OpenAI, where SoftBank. Musk claims they don't actually have the money for the Trump-promoted Stargate project. Bloomberg reports as Microsoft poised to benefit from Stargate joint venture with zero money. The CIA is discreetly employing AI to create simulated versions of global leaders. UK intends to develop a formidable supercomputer to compete with US and China in drug discovery, as a top supercomputer utilizing AI to advance vaccine development. Zelensky indicates that a security guarantee for Ukraine would require a minimum of 200,000 peacekeepers. Trump criticizes Putin, claiming he is destroying Russia by not accepting the Ukraine deal. A British general warns that after the guns cease in Ukraine, Russia will initiate a military resurgence. DeepSeek asserts that its reasoning model surpasses OpenAI's O1 on specific benchmarks. Salesforce's CEO anticipates that current CEOs will be the last to lead entirely human workforces. Microsoft has reached an agreement to help restore the Amazon rainforest and balance AI emissions, while also announcing that it is no longer OpenAI's sole cloud provider, as OpenAI's Stargate deal signifies a move away from Microsoft. Study finds air fryers emit less indoor air pollution than other cooking methods. Scientists discover bacteria trapped in endless evolutionary time loop. Men have grown twice as much as women over past century, study shows. Iran is conducting tests on combat robots and working on the creation of new models, according to the Army's information provided to the Tehran Times. Meanwhile, Syria has completely taken over the Tartus port, terminating a 49-year agreement with Russia. Additionally, Fitch has forecasted that Saudi Arabia's debt market will reach $500 billion within the next 3 years. Trump's SEC is initiating a crypto task force to establish precise regulations for the industry. A U.S. court in Texas has overturned the sanctions imposed on Tornado Cash since 2022. Reliance is launching GeoCoin, stepping into the crypto market with a partnership with Polygon Labs. Indonesia's fish startup, valued at $1.4 billion, allegedly fabricated the majority of its sales, according to a report. Meanwhile, Iraqi lawmakers have approved a bill that opponents argue permits child marriage. In Florida, a man who consumed a diet consisting mainly of butter, cheese, and beef experienced cholesterol oozing from his body. ADL clarifies that Musk's gesture was awkward, but not a Nazi salute, acknowledging it as a delicate moment. Musk's straight-arm gesture has been misinterpreted and adopted by right-wing extremists, despite his intentions. The Trump administration is facing accusations of utilizing AI to create executive orders. Trump's UN nominee supports Israeli assertions of biblical rights to the West Bank. Trump fires first woman to head a U.S. military service, as Trump sacks Coast Guard leader over excessive diversity focus. 2 Americans held in Afghanistan traded for Taliban prisoner in final Biden deal, delayed until Trump took office. Hillary Clinton laughs as Trump announces Gulf of America order. Trump announces plans to implement a 10% tariff on Chinese imports starting February 1st. Economists at Davos caution that such threats could lead nations to distance themselves from the U.S. dollar. Additionally, Trump dismantles diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives by reversing Lyndon Johnson's affirmative action executive order, instructing all federal diversity, equity, and inclusion employees to be placed on leave. Furthermore, Trump grants gun and drug agents the authority to carry out deportations. Severance, the Apple TV Plus series, reportedly has generated over $200 million for the streamer. Meanwhile, ITV's Hell's Kitchen game has become a massive success, attracting 20 million players on the Roblox platform. Additionally, Ryan Gosling is reportedly in discussions to star in a new Star Wars movie directed by Sean Levy. Elon Musk is reportedly supporting UK far-right leader Tommy Robinson's legal battle, according to his followers. 2 weeks prior, Musk reportedly shifted his support from UK's Nigel Farage to the far-right figure Tommy Robinson. 3 months ago, the founder of the far-right English Defence League, Tommy Robinson, was sentenced to 18 months in prison for court contempt. Additionally, he was charged under the Terrorism Act before the far-right march in London. Harvard has reached a settlement with Jewish students who filed a lawsuit regarding campus anti-Semitism. In India, the government of Modi is reportedly planning to repatriate 18,000 Indians residing in the U.S. illegally. Saudi Crown Prince announces $600 billion investment in U.S. during Trump call. 2 days prior, Trump stated he would visit Saudi Arabia for $500 billion in trade. Mongolia secures $1.6 billion uranium mine agreement with France's Orano. Satellite image shows China's latest aircraft carrier. 3 months back, reports indicated China was constructing a nuclear reactor to power its new aircraft carrier, supported by images and documents. Anti-Trump searches seem concealed on TikTok following its return online. TikTok is now Trump's propaganda. Trump expresses willingness for Elon Musk or Larry Ellison to acquire TikTok. Mr. Beast, a leading internet creator, participates in a fresh attempt to purchase TikTok. In the 2025 State of Mobile report, it is revealed that consumers spent a staggering $150 billion on mobile, marking yet another year of record-breaking expenditures. Additionally, AI applications garnered more than $1 billion in consumer spending during 2024. Meanwhile, EA shares experienced a 7% decline following the company's decision to reduce its guidance due to a lack of performance in soccer and other games. Adobe Premiere Pro introduces text search functionality for locating clips. Meta plans to allow users to connect WhatsApp with Facebook and Instagram. Amazon will discontinue its operations in Quebec, reverting to third-party delivery services. The Royal Shakespeare Company is transforming Macbeth into a neo-noir interactive experience. In the United States, a federal court has declared that FISA Section 702 backdoor searches are unconstitutional. A 15-year-old boy has created a zero-click attack that secretly discloses the target's location. Bloomberg comments as the second Trump presidency brought to you by YouTubers. Reuters reports as OpenAI tells India court ChatGPT data removal will breach U.S. legal obligations. TikTok owner asks Chinese staff in Singapore to pay taxes to Beijing. OpenAI is developing a system aimed at achieving artificial general intelligence, AGI, by mimicking the thought processes of a professional engineer. Meanwhile, TSMC has temporarily halted production following a powerful earthquake in Taiwan, which may have impacted up to 20,000 wafers, with most likely needing to be discarded. Additionally, a study has revealed that AI can forecast career success based on a facial image. Samsung introduces features similar to Apple Wallet, including layaway and tap-to-send capabilities for its wallet. Google Gemini is now compatible with multiple apps within a single prompt, available on the Samsung Galaxy S25 series. Goldman Sachs launches an AI assistant for its staff as artificial intelligence becomes prevalent on Wall Street. CNN plans to dismiss several hundred workers as it initiates a transformation following the inauguration, according to sources. The Prime Minister of Spain calls on Europe to oppose the caste that dominates social media. Israel's defense minister states that its military operation in the West Bank incorporates lessons from the Gaza conflict, while Israel conducts a lethal raid on the Jenin refugee camp in the occupied West Bank. OpenAI reveals preliminary findings indicating that reasoning models, like O1, enhance their resilience against adversarial attacks with extended thinking processes. The Open Source Survey 2024 highlights that security in open source is a top priority, AI adoption is increasing, and open source is becoming more varied. ByteDance introduces an AI code editor developed on Microsoft software following the delay of the TikTok ban. Nepal has increased the Mount Everest climbing fee to $15,000. Trump issued an executive order to encourage beautiful federal civic architecture. 4 years ago, Joe Biden revoked Trump's executive order requiring classical-only architecture for federal buildings, reinstating freedom of design. 5 years ago, the White House declared an executive order on promoting beautiful federal civic architecture. Solar power surpassed coal in the EU's electricity mix in 2024, according to Ember. Hundreds of same-sex couples tie the knot as Thailand's significant marriage bill comes into force. In the UK, a study of GP records reveals that adults with ADHD are experiencing shorter life expectancies than they ought to. The Financial Times indicates that young individuals are socializing less frequently, which could potentially be detrimental to their mental well-being. FDA gives approval for J&J's ketamine-based depression treatment to be used independently. Researchers discover that the blood of Australian oysters might be crucial in combating drug-resistant superbugs. A study led by UT Health San Antonio reveals that females have a 31% increased risk of developing long COVID.
Get your daily news fix with News Source Scrawler's latest edition, January 21st, 2025, featuring crypto, politics, tech, and more. Number 1 hit and more. YouTube music charts. Global top songs from January 10th to January 16th, 2025. APT. Collaboration between Rose and Bruno Mars titled Die With a Smile. DTMF. Song by Bad Bunny. Spotify Weekly Top Songs Global, spanning from Friday, January 10th to Thursday, January 16th, 2025. DTMF by Bad Bunny. Die With a Smile featuring Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars, APT. By Rose and Bruno Mars and Bail Inolvidable by Bad Bunny. Nintendo US Digital Top Sellers starting January 20th, 2025. Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. Super Mario Party Jamboree, Minecraft, Stardew Valley. Steam's most popular games. Highlighting the globally top-selling and most played games on Steam. Based on the top 100 products by revenue list for the period from Tuesday, January 7th, 2025 to Tuesday, January 14th, 2025. Counter-Strike 2, Marvel Rivals, PUBG Battlegrounds, Path of Exile 2, Dota 2. CISA's Cybersecurity Alerts and Advisories. CISA has issued the Cybersecurity Performance Goals Adoption Report. Novasky AI Sky, T1-32B, Preview. This is a 32B reasoning model that has been trained using Qwen 2.5-32B. Instruct with a dataset of 17,000 items. Its performance matches that of the O1 preview model in both mathematics and coding. The development was carried out by the NovaSky team, which is part of the Sky Computing Lab at UC Berkeley. Russia claims that Democratic presidents, first Obama and then Biden, intentionally damaged U.S.-Russia relations in anticipation of Trump's return. Meanwhile, officials reported that the damage to the Baltic Sea cable was likely due to accidents rather than Russian interference, according to the Washington Post. Additionally, Trump plans to temporarily revoke the security clearances of 51 intelligence officials who inaccurately suggested that Hunter Biden's laptop was a Russian fabrication. Serbian leader cautions about a foreign-supported color revolution. CPJ notes that, in an unprecedented year, China, Israel, and Myanmar are the top jailers of journalists globally. X, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube commit to an EU initiative to address hate speech. VTB Bank will be the first Russian financial institution to establish a branch in Iran. The volume of trade between Afghanistan and Iran rose by 84% in the previous year. Russia and Iran have concluded the route for their gas pipeline through Azerbaijan, with price negotiations nearing completion. In the United States, Donald Trump is set to be sworn in as the 47th president. Russian President Vladimir Putin extends his congratulations to Trump prior to his inauguration, expressing willingness to engage in discussions regarding Ukraine and nuclear weapons. China's vice president holds meetings with Elon Musk and J.D. Vance in anticipation of Trump's inauguration. India urges Russia to bring back its citizens after reports of 12 fatalities and 16 missing in battle. Ukraine's commander-in-chief, Syrsky, claims Russian ammunition has been reduced by half due to Ukrainian strikes. With Trump's inauguration, Macron cautions Europe against relying solely on American weapons. Ramaswamy's position at DOGE is uncertain as he plans to reveal his candidacy for Ohio governor, while numerous lawsuits challenge the newly established Department of Government Efficiency as Trump takes office. Nancy Pelosi has revealed her husband's latest investment portfolio, which includes $2.9 million in shares from Apple, Disney, PayPal, and Amex. Melania Trump introduces a meme coin amid concerns over crypto disputes from experts. Telegram malware scams surge dramatically, increasing by 2,000%, posing a fresh threat to cryptocurrency investors. Meanwhile, HP initiates an investigation following a hacker's assertion of a data breach. Additionally, authors are requesting Meta's logs and seeding data related to its torrent client as part of an AI piracy investigation. TikTok resumes operations following Trump's promise to postpone the ban, while China indicates willingness to negotiate a deal to maintain TikTok's presence in the U.S. Canon introduces a new application that enables live streaming from various cameras, excluding Canon's own. It is said that Instagram is attempting to attract TikTok creators by offering substantial financial incentives. Independent receives financial support from the Bill Gates Foundation. In Saudi Arabia, Kingdom Holding announces the restart of construction on the Jeddah Tower, which will be 1,000 meters tall. Officials in France alert the public about the influx of Viagra-infused erectile honey. Alleged 9/11 mastermind consents to the use of a contested confession for a life sentence. The UN chief announces that 630 aid trucks entered Gaza on the initial day of the ceasefire. Hamas provides hostages with goodie bags containing signed certificates of captivity. Trump plans to execute over 200 executive actions on his first day in office. According to Axios, Americans generally support deporting undocumented immigrants, but their opinions shift when asked specific questions. National Guard troops reportedly expressed concern that Trump might use them for mass deportations. HuffPost describes Biden's legacy as saving America from COVID and then being succeeded by a criminal. The infamous pirate IPTV service Magus TV is seeking a U.S. trademark and undergoing a rebranding process. Experts warn that a salon hair wash can pose significant health risks. Research indicates that urination in chimpanzees can be contagious. A doorbell camera has recorded the first-ever video of both the sound and sight of a meteorite crash landing. A novel device has been created to capture green ammonia directly from the atmosphere, serving as a potential fuel or fertilizer source. MIT has declared that rapid control techniques achieve unprecedented precision in superconducting qubits. Biden issues preemptive pardons for Milley, Fauci, and January 6th committee members. Trump grants sweeping pardon of January 6th defendants, including rioters who violently attacked police. Trump promises to bring back troops booted for refusing COVID vaccine. Landslides and flash floods on Java Island, Indonesia, result in 16 fatalities and 9 individuals missing. Trump declares a second withdrawal from the Paris Climate Agreement and plans to announce a national energy emergency, terminating Biden's electric vehicle mandate. Researchers discover that Tesla's brand value decreased by $15 billion in 2024 due to an aging product lineup and Elon Musk's leadership. Cecile Richards, a leading abortion advocate and former president of Planned Parenthood, passed away at the age of 67 on the day of Donald Trump's inauguration. The ACLU has filed a lawsuit against Trump's executive order intended to terminate birthright citizenship, following his announcement to end this right for children born to undocumented immigrants. Trump has directed the United States to withdraw from the World Health Organization. Melania Trump asserts that the Obamas created difficulties during the transition to her husband's first presidency. In the last moments of his office, Biden pardons 5 members of his family. Trump promises a new era of national success and declares that America's decline is over in his inaugural address. Doom has been adapted into a standalone Microsoft Word document, which reportedly functions well although it lacks sound. 6 days prior, it was reported that Doom could also run directly from a PDF file, known as Doom PDF, achieving a frame rate of approximately 12.5 FPS. The director of Sonic the Hedgehog 3 hints at future developments involving Metal Sonic and Amy Rose in Sonic 4. A gaming analyst expresses optimism that the industry might see Grand Theft Auto 6 priced at $100. Researchers create a celestial navigation system to serve as a GPS alternative for drones. U.S. safety regulators broaden their investigation into Ford's hands-free driving technology. The FIA announces the confirmed debut date for Lewis Hamilton with Ferrari, marking the beginning of Hamilton's Ferrari career with a visit to the HQ and a test. EU intends to prohibit forever chemicals in consumer goods. Women who participated in sports have a higher probability of becoming business leaders. A recent study by TikTok suggests that the use of short videos is associated with reduced academic performance in children. Ravensburger reveals upcoming Disney villainous games and global tournaments. KPMG is nearing the establishment of a U.S. law firm, marking a first for the Big Four. Apple CFO refutes claims of a 75% margin on its App Store. The Pentagon indicates that artificial intelligence is accelerating its process of targeting and engaging threats, known as the kill chain. An editor of The Brutalist faces criticism for using AI in creating dialogue and designing buildings, yet argues that this approach is not unprecedented. Former President Trump annuls a previous executive order by President Biden aimed at mitigating the risks associated with artificial intelligence. The Trump administration has terminated several immigration court officials, marking the start of a crackdown. Trump has signed extensive executive actions on immigration, initiating efforts to abolish birthright citizenship. According to the Wall Street Journal, Trump will present his trade vision but will not introduce new tariffs at this time. Meanwhile, Bloomberg reports that Trump intends to implement a 25% tariff on Mexico and Canada by February 1st. Mystery mounds on Mars show the history of water, with erosion as large as the UK. Mountains on neutron stars might be detected using gravitational waves, as these mountains would create ripples in spacetime. An AI model created for protein design simulates 500 million years of protein evolution to develop a new fluorescent protein. Trump issues an executive order temporarily halting the TikTok ban and granting immunity to technology companies. Additionally, Trump instructs the government to refrain from infringing on American speech and initiates an investigation into censorship. Apple faces a Belgian investigation regarding blood minerals sourced from the Congo. Meta plans to employ fact-checkers outside the United States temporarily. Trump says he will quickly release JFK, Robert Kennedy, MLK assassination files. Trump's presidency will set off a new right-wing surge in Europe, Hungary's PM Orbán says, and Trump's presidency will set off a new right-wing surge in Europe, PM Orbán says. Reuters reports that German ambassador warns of Trump plan to redefine constitutional order. Document shows.
Get your daily news fix with News Source Scrawler's latest edition. January 19th, 2025 featuring crypto, politics, tech, and more. Number 1 hit and more. YouTube music charts. Global top songs from January 3rd to January 9th, 2025. APT, featuring Rose and Bruno Mars. Die with a Smile collaboration between Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars. AAJK rap by Madhubandi Bagshi with Divya. Peelings by Kundakuri Shankar Babu and Lakshmi Dasa. Spotify weekly top songs global, spanning from the Friday, January 3rd to the Thursday, January 9th, 2025. Die with a Smile by Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars. APT. By Rose and Bruno Mars. That's So True by Gracie Abrams. And Birds of a Feather by Billie Eilish. Nintendo US digital top sellers starting January 13th, 2025. Super Mario Party Jamboree, Minecraft, Nintendo Switch Sports, Stardew Valley, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Steam's most popular games. Discover the globally top-selling and top-played games on Steam. Based on the top 100 products by revenue list, for the period from Tuesday, December 31st, 2024, to Tuesday, January 7th, 2025. Counter-Strike 2, PUBG Battlegrounds, Path of Exile 2, Marvel Rivals, Dota 2, Helldivers 2, Elden Ring. CISA's cybersecurity alerts and advisories. CISA has issued the Cybersecurity Performance Goals Adoption Report. Nova Sky AI's Sky T1-32B preview. This is a 32B reasoning model that has been trained using Qwen 2.5-32B. Instruct with a dataset of 17,000 items. Its performance matches that of the O1 preview model in both mathematics and coding. The development was carried out by the Nova Sky team, which is part of the Sky Computing Lab at UC Berkeley. U.S. debt increases significantly as the deficit reaches $1.9 trillion this year, according to Congress's Budget Office. The IMF upgrades the U.S. economic forecast while Canada and Europe lag behind. The United States initiates maneuvers to prevent breaching the debt limit, exerting pressure on Congress, as the U.S. Treasury plans to implement measures to avoid a debt limit breach on Tuesday. TikTok banned to go ahead unless it's sold by Chinese parent company, after U.S. Supreme Court upholds law. Trump says he had good call with China Xi about TikTok and trade. Bill Gates impressed with Trump's interest in global health during 3-hour dinner. Meta to break up civil rights team. Biden commutes sentences for nearly 2,500 individuals convicted of nonviolent drug offenses, setting a record. Additionally, Biden declares the Equal Rights Amendment passed, but does not mandate certification. Meanwhile, the Trump administration is reportedly preparing to arrest illegal immigrants nationwide on day one, with Chicago as the starting point for Trump's deportation plan. Lastly, an appeals court overturns an Obama-era policy intended to protect immigrants who arrived in the U.S. as children. The European Union intensifies its investigation into Elon Musk's platform, X, focusing on content moderation and requesting an examination of X's recommendation algorithms. Former European leaders advocate for the division of Google's ad technology. The New York Times reveals that a Trump oligarchy is relocating to Washington and acquiring prestigious addresses. FTC files lawsuit against PepsiCo for manipulating soft drink competition, alleging price discrimination that benefited Walmart over smaller retailers. Vanguard announces a $106 million settlement with the SEC regarding misleading TDF disclosures. American Express consents to a payment exceeding $138 million to conclude a wire fraud investigation linked to the sales and marketing of wire products. Progresso's Soup You Can Suck introduces a new soup candy for enjoying your favorite soup while on the move. Magnesium supplementation leads to improved cognitive performance following defecation in triathletes. A study reveals that Homo erectus thrived in desert environments, indicating early humans' ability to adapt to extreme conditions. Research suggests that Mars's hemispheres are shaped by mantle convection rather than giant impacts. Character AI, an AI startup, evaluates web games, and has implemented restrictions to prevent minors from engaging with bots modeled after real individuals and fandom characters. Microsoft has acknowledged the challenges in securing AI after testing its products in Redmond. A hacker gained unauthorized access to the Path of Exile 2 administrator account, resulting in the hijacking of a series of characters. Google starts mandating JavaScript for its search engine. ByteDance, a Chinese company, officially halts services for its apps TikTok, CapCut, and Lemon 8, removing them from app stores shortly before the U.S. ban on January 19. Marvel Snap faces a ban similar to TikTok's. Perplexity AI attempts to merge with TikTok in the U.S. Trump introduces a meme coin, reportedly earning over $25 billion in a single night, with Coinbase and Binance planning to list his official Trump token following its extraordinary launch. Cryptocurrency companies invest millions in Trump's inauguration, and Coinbase supports a strategic Bitcoin reserve. Trump intends to implement 5 cryptocurrency changes immediately through executive order, aiming to make cryptocurrency a national priority, according to sources. OpenAI has developed an AI model for longevity research, collaborating with Retro Biosciences to design stem cell proteins using AI. Meanwhile, Colossal Biosciences has secured $200 million at a $10.2 billion valuation to resurrect woolly mammoths. Additionally, Ray Kurzweil predicted that by the 2030s, nanobots in our brains will elevate us to a godlike state. The 3 largest insurers earned $7.3 billion from the markups of their drug intermediaries, according to the FTC. In Iran, 2 judges associated with mass executions in 1988 were killed. It is reported that Japan's elderly face loneliness and hardship, with some women opting for imprisonment. This year, 68,000 individuals over 65 are expected to die alone at home in Japan. A massive lithium-ion plant in California has been engulfed in flames. Meanwhile, China has introduced a compact and affordable nuclear battery for everyday use, with the Betavolt BV103V model designed to provide 100 microwatts for more than 50 years. Additionally, Keir Starmer is emphasizing his connection with Donald Trump as he pursues a trade agreement between the US and UK, a move noted by The Telegraph as Starmer seeking Trump's support to stimulate economic growth. Digital Currency Group agrees to pay $38 million to settle with SEC over negligence. In the U.S., Genshin Impact game developer will be banned from selling loot boxes to teens under 16 without parental consent. Pay a $20 million fine to settle FTC charges. Justice Department files nationwide lawsuit alleging Walgreens knowingly filled millions of prescriptions that lacked a legitimate medical purpose. Ukraine's armed forces have reached a strength of 880,000 personnel, according to Zelensky, as they confront 600,000 Russian soldiers. Russia has declared its intention to oppose any collaboration between the UK and Ukraine in the Sea of Azov. Putin has expressed enthusiasm about potential new nuclear initiatives with Iran. FTC instructs GoDaddy to rectify inadequate web hosting security measures. Microsoft OpenAI collaboration prompts antitrust worries, according to FTC. Noam advocates reducing CISA, claiming the cyber agency has deviated significantly from its original mission. Japan government initiates compensation process for victims of forced sterilization. In the UK, Jersey residents advised to undergo bloodletting due to PFAS contamination. China reveals a comprehensive plan from 2024 to 2035, aimed at establishing a robust education nation. A Wall Street Journal poll indicates that voters are seeking a more moderate version of MAGA policies from Trump. The Telegraph notes that, except in Starmer's Britain, the left is currently less popular than at any point since the Cold War. Argentina has recorded its first budget surplus in 14 years under Milei's leadership. Vitalik Buterin outlines significant shifts in Ethereum Foundation leadership following demands for fresh leadership. Foxconn, Apple's partner, reveals plans to deploy humanoids in iPhone manufacturing facilities. China's Comac, the C919 jet manufacturer, targets flights in Southeast Asia by 2026, while Comac, the Chinese aircraft firm, aspires to double the production of C-919 passenger planes this year. Ex-CIA analyst admits to leaking classified documents about Israel. Qatar announces that a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas will commence at 8:30 a.m. on Sunday. Saudi Arabia considers recognizing Israel as Trump returns, and a Gaza ceasefire is discussed. Kennedy attempted to halt COVID vaccinations 6 months following their introduction. In the United States, Moderna received $590 million from the HHS to expedite the development of an mRNA-based bird flu vaccine. Ozempic, Wegovy, and other medications are included in the 15 chosen for Medicare's price negotiations. Greta Gerwig's Narnia secures an exclusive IMAX run and a significant agreement before its Netflix debut. Coldplay's concert at an Indian stadium will be live-streamed on Disney Plus Hotstar. Paramount Plus has canceled Frasier after 2 seasons, and CBS Studios will seek a new home for the revival. Russian coal exports have significantly decreased, reaching a 6-year low, primarily because of sanctions and issues with Russian railways. Nigeria has been officially recognized as a partner country within the BRICS bloc. China plans to enhance a $60 billion railway in Turkey to facilitate the transportation of goods to the EU, thereby avoiding routes through Russia. Bob Dylan's drafts for Mr. Tambourine Man fetch over £400,000. A new book discloses that Frankenstein was influenced by the suicide of Mary Shelley's half-sister. Calder Gardens, Philadelphia's latest art museum, will debut on the Ben Franklin Parkway in September. Get your daily news fix with News Source Scrawler's latest edition, January 17, 2025, featuring crypto, politics, tech, and more. Number 1 hit and more. YouTube music charts. Global top songs from January 3 to January 9, 2025. APT featuring Rose and Bruno Mars. Die with a Smile collaboration between Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars. AJ Key rap by Madhu Banti Bakshi with Divya. Peelings by Kundakuri Shankar Babu and Lakshmi Dasa. Spotify Weekly Top Songs Global, spanning from the Friday, January 3 to the Thursday, January 9, 2025. Die with a Smile by Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars. APT. By Rose and Bruno Mars, That's So True by Gracie Abrams, and Birds of a Feather by Billie Eilish. Nintendo US Digital Top Sellers starting January 13, 2025. Super Mario Party Jamboree, Minecraft, Nintendo Switch Sports, Stardew Valley, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Steam's most popular games. Discover the globally top-selling and top-played games on Steam. Based on the top 100 products by revenue list, for the period from Tuesday, December 31, 2024, to Tuesday, January 7, 2025. Counter-Strike 2, PUBG Battlegrounds, Path of Exile 2, Marvel Rivals, Dota 2, Helldivers 2, Elden Ring. CISA's Cybersecurity Alerts and Advisories. CISA has issued the Cybersecurity Performance Goals Adoption Report. NovaSky AI Sky 1-32B Preview. This is a 32B reasoning model that has been trained using Qwen 2.5-32B. Instruct with a dataset of 17,000 items. Its performance matches that of the O1 preview model in both mathematics and coding. The development was carried out by the NovaSky team, which is part of the Sky Computing Lab at UC Berkeley. The Associated Press is providing a real-time information feed to improve the results shown in the Gemini app. LinkedIn is introducing complementary AI tools for both job seekers and recruiters. In the United States, OpenAI will financially support the establishment of 4 new Axios local newsrooms. US FTC takes legal action against Deere for limiting equipment repair options. Gallup finds that Americans incorporate AI into daily products without being aware of it. A humanoid robot acquires the ability to waltz by imitating human movements. China's regional authorities increase minimum wages to stimulate spending. Hindenburg Research, the contentious short-selling firm that focused on Adani, experiences a collapse. Profits at U.S. banks grow as Wall Street anticipates a surge in mergers. The United States has introduced new regulations to limit the export of sophisticated semiconductor chips to China. Additionally, the Netherlands has agreed to comply with U.S. export restrictions on certain ASML chip manufacturing tools. Furthermore, the U.S. is implementing new export controls on biotechnology equipment due to concerns about China. Microsoft will cease support for Office applications on Windows 10 as of October 14. The individual behind Gas and TBH has developed an application for vanishing photos through iMessage. It is said that Nintendo had to overhaul the entire game to release Animal Crossing in the Western market. Google informs EU that fact-checking is not suitable, declining to implement fact checks despite new EU regulation. The FBI disbanded its DEI office in December, according to the agency. MIT discontinued its internal grant database after it was utilized to investigate the school's relationships with Israel. Aramco Ma'aden JV plans lithium mining in Saudi Arabia, with Aramco's lithium project showing promise but not yet operational, according to the minister. In the U.S., Hino Toyota's truck division is set to pay $1.6 billion due to an emissions scandal. Additionally, the burning of Teslas contributes to a toxic pollution mix, delaying the return to Los Angeles. Survey reports that more than half of Netflix, Disney Plus, Max subscribers don't see advertising. Conan O'Brien to receive Mark Twain Prize for American Humor. Regal Cineworld Inc.'s deal with Barco to bring 4,000 new laser projectors to cinemas by 2030. Drake has filed a lawsuit against his record label, claiming that Kendrick Lamar's song, Not Like Us, contains defamatory content. Meanwhile, Temasek is reportedly considering Blackstone's $4 billion sale of Bob Dylan and Adele's song rights. Additionally, Telegram has closed channels associated with Z Library and Anna's Archive due to copyright infringement issues. U.S. TikTok refugees migrate to another Chinese app as ban looms, and Goodbye to My Chinese Spy might be the last great TikTok trend. Semaphore comments as TikTok crisis builds unlikely cyberspace bridge between U.S. and China. Biden administration looks for ways to keep TikTok available in the U.S., and Trump considers suspending TikTok ban enforcement for 60 to 90 days, Washington Post reports. Douyin cracks down on fake foreign accounts amid wave of TikTok refugees, and Duolingo sees 216% spike in U.S. users learning Chinese amid TikTok ban and move to Red Note. In the United States, the FDA plans to withdraw approval for Red No. 3 in food and ingested medications. Research indicates that intermittent fasting offers two significant advantages for individuals with obesity. A targeted mRNA therapy addresses a fatal pregnancy condition in mice, utilizing a lipid nanoparticle to deliver an mRNA solution for preeclampsia. UK leader Starmer signs 100-year partnership agreement with Ukraine during trip to Kiev, and Keir Starmer says UK will play full part in guaranteeing Ukrainian security. Designation of cartels as terrorist organizations fuels tension between Mexico and the U.S. ahead of Trump's inauguration, as Trump team resurfaces plans to designate Mexican cartels as terror organizations. Israeli attacks kill at least 80 in Gaza after ceasefire deal announced. Russia plotted terror attacks on airlines around the world, Poland's Tusk says. Trump advisors concede Ukraine peace deal is months away. U.S. sanctions Chinese and Kyrgyz firms supporting Russia's war in Ukraine. Netanyahu expresses gratitude to Trump and Biden for their assistance in the Gaza hostage agreement, as reported by the Israel Prime Minister's office. Both Trump and Biden assert their roles in the Gaza ceasefire agreement, with Biden mentioning that Americans will be included among the hostages released and humorously declining to acknowledge Trump's contribution to finalizing the deal. Is that a joke? According to Reuters, the Trump team requests the resignation of 3 senior U.S. career diplomats, as indicated by sources. Musk is reportedly involved in efforts to secure the release of an Italian imprisoned in Iran. Aversive memories can be diminished during human sleep by reactivating positive interfering memories. Research indicates that consuming a daily glass of milk may reduce the risk of bowel cancer by 1/5. Studies suggest a connection between processed red meat and an increased risk of dementia. In the United States, Immigration and Customs Enforcement (ICE) documents indicate that the Biden administration's strategies might allow Trump an advantage in initiating deportations. The special counsel's concluding report asserts that Trump would have faced conviction for election interference had he not secured victory. A poll conducted by the Associated Press and NORC Center for Public Affairs reveals that a limited number of U.S. adults are trusting in the Justice Department and FBI's ability to act impartially under Trump's leadership. Coca-Cola CEO offers Trump a commemorative Diet Coke bottle with an inauguration theme. TikTok CEO intends to be at Trump's inauguration, while former presidents Obama, Clinton, and Bush will not join Trump for his inaugural lunch. According to a CNN poll, Biden departs office with his approval rating at its lowest point during his term, and a new poll indicates that Gaza was the top issue for Biden 2020 voters who did not support Harris. China has launched an investigation into U.S. chip grants and alleged dumping. Recently, the U.S. imposed blacklists on over 24 Chinese tech companies due to Huawei's use of TSMC chips in its system-on-chip, SoC. Pete Hegseth, Trump's nominee for defense secretary, faced criticism after mistakenly referring to ASEAN as ASEAN, indicating he was unable to name the countries in the Southeast Asian bloc. Anduril, an AI military startup, is planning a $1 billion factory in Ohio. Plants take in 31% more carbon dioxide than earlier thought. Research on fish from the Great Barrier Reef indicates changes in significant global biodiversity trends. A study reveals unexpected connections among bird species during migration, with migrating birds singing to collaborate with others. Google has secured carbon removal credits from Indian farms in a significant transaction. A lawsuit in New York City against Exxon, BP, and Shell regarding climate change has been dismissed. UK farmland is experiencing contamination from forever chemicals associated with cancers, with RAF bases identified as hotspots for forever chemical groundwater pollution, according to MOD documents. Coinbase plans to provide loans secured by Bitcoin through Morpho. eToro, a retail trading platform, is seeking a U.S. IPO with a target valuation of $5 billion. Crypto pension funds are experiencing significant growth, coinciding with a 130% increase in Bitcoin's price. The Biden administration plans to allow Trump to enforce the TikTok ban. It has been reported that TikTok users are shifting to the Chinese app Red Note, causing concern among Beijing censors, and discussions about selling a stake in Zaya Hongshu, a TikTok competitor, have valued it at $20 billion. In the EU, NOIB has submitted GDPR complaints against TikTok, AliExpress, Shein, Temu, WeChat, and Xiaomi for unauthorized data transfers to China. Mistral partners with Agence France-Presse to provide current responses in LuChat. Mark Zuckerberg compares Meta's AI approach to YouTube's copyright rules. Google's Gemini Deep Research now supports 40 languages. Trump, Musk dined with Microsoft CEO at Mar-a-Lago. Biden warns oligarchy is taking shape in America in farewell address. As Biden cites threat from extreme wealth in farewell address. And in final address, Biden warns of rise of tech industrial complex, while outlining threats, challenges. German far-right co-leader to attend Trump inauguration, and Meloni-only EU leader invited to Trump's inauguration. Hong Kong's Jimmy Lai reportedly paid a former U.S. general to provide advice to the Taiwanese government, as stated in court. Additionally, Jimmy Lai acknowledged facilitating connections between Taiwan and former U.S. officials. Meanwhile, President Joe Biden has announced the extension of special status for Hong Kongers residing in the U.S. for an additional 2 years. Furthermore, a report indicates that Chinese hackers infiltrated over 400 Treasury Department computers. A U.S. court has imposed a $100 million fine on BitMEX due to anti-money laundering AML violations. Meanwhile, Jack Dorsey's company, Block, has committed to providing refunds amounting to up to $120 million to address fraud issues with Cash App. Additionally, there are reports suggesting that online gambling has contributed to transnational crime in the Philippines. Vietnam's extensive bureaucratic reform includes the elimination of a major television broadcaster. Jimmy Donaldson's Beast Game sets a record as Prime Video's most-watched unscripted series. David Lynch, the visionary director behind Twin Peaks and Blue Velvet, passes away at the age of 78. FTC prohibits GM from sharing driving data to resolve allegations of selling data without consent. FTC files lawsuit against Greystar, accusing the property manager of using concealed fees to deceive renters out of millions. Rio Tinto and Glencore considered a merger, but discussions are now inactive, according to a source. Nintendo's intellectual property manager acknowledges that an emulator itself is not inherently illegal, but its legality can change based on its usage. The Nintendo Switch 2 is scheduled for a 2025 release, with Mario Kart 9 being subtly announced alongside it. The Australian Open tennis tournament has substituted players with avatars reminiscent of Wii Sports to broadcast live matches, with these avatars aiding tennis in attracting a new audience. FBI alerts agents to hackers stealing call logs, according to Bloomberg News. Victims of the PowerSchool data breach report that hackers took all historical student and teacher data. Chinese hackers infiltrated Yellen's computer during a U.S. Treasury breach. Malaysia's police chief orders officers to lose excess body fat. Infestation of drug-addicted rats prompting purge of backlogged Houston evidence room. As TikTok refugees flock to Red Note, a U.S. official says the Chinese app could be banned too. India successfully completes its first space docking, joining the ranks of the fourth nation to reach this significant milestone. The European Space Agency's Gaia, which maps the Milky Way, has finished its sky scanning phase, accumulating over 3 trillion observations. During a flight test, SpaceX's Starship explodes, prompting airlines to reroute their flights. Apple launches online store app in India to extend focus beyond major cities. Let's Encrypt announces 6-day validity certificates. Adobe introduces live co-editing feature to Photoshop, enabling creative collaborations. Germany plans to intercept drones in proximity to military installations. A Russian court sentences 3 attorneys representing the deceased Russian opposition figure Alexei Navalny to imprisonment. U.S. sanctions against Russia are impacting oil freight rates. Biden admits he focused too much on policy and not enough on politics, criticizing red states for mishandling their economies during the COVID years. Trump's official portrait has been likened to a mugshot. A Fox News poll indicates Trump is at his peak popularity, while an APNORC poll reveals many Americans are skeptical about his ability to reduce prices in his first year. Trump's nominee for Treasury Secretary opposes increasing the minimum wage. Additionally, Donald Trump's chosen Treasury official warns that reversing tax cuts could lead to an economic calamity, while emphasizing the significance of tax cuts for billionaires. Meanwhile, a Brazil court prevents Bolsonaro from attending Trump's inauguration. Furthermore, it is reportedly that Trump's threats of China tariffs are contributing to a manufacturing boom in Mexico. Sudan's military has reportedly deployed chemical weapons on 2 occasions, according to U.S. officials. Meanwhile, Pakistan's former Prime Minister Imran Khan and his wife have been sentenced to imprisonment in a corruption case. Additionally, the Iranian president has made his way to Moscow to sign a treaty with President Putin, as reported by TASS. In the United States, Democrats aim to prevent another transgender military ban initiated by Trump, with a House Democrat planning to introduce a bill opposing the ban. Meanwhile, Donald Trump has designated Mel Gibson, Sylvester Stallone, and Jon Voight as special envoys to Hollywood. In the United Kingdom, Ofcom has announced that pornography websites must verify the age of their visitors. China reports a 5% economic growth last year, primarily fueled by exports. Meanwhile, China's population decreases for the 3rd consecutive year, due to a declining birth rate. Additionally, China introduces the Crimson Skyblade in its pursuit of nuclear fusion for limitless clean energy. Lastly, China's Black Panther 2.0 robot dog achieves a speed of 100 meters in under 10 seconds. Live Nation organizes a fire aid benefit concert to support victims of the Los Angeles fires. Brian Eno, known for the Windows 95 startup sound, unveils a 20,000 pounds limited edition turntable 2 at the Paul Stolper Gallery. 90s superstar Aaliyah is celebrated with a Barbie doll on the anniversary of her 46th birthday. Spain revamps domestic violence system following criticism, with some noting Spain is implementing AI for domestic violence risk assessment, and it's performing as predicted. Troubled Washington Post covertly preparing transition to AI-driven platform for news. Apple halts AI-generated news alert service following BBC dispute. Egypt has discovered archaeological treasures at the funerary complex of Queen Hatshepsut. Iron Age DNA research indicates that women were the dominant force in pre-Roman Britain, with scientists uncovering a Celtic society where men relocated to join their bride's community. A jaw fossil found in China suggests the existence of a palm-sized cat that lived 300,000 years ago, potentially being the world's smallest cat. A remarkable sword from the 6th century, adorned with runes, was discovered in an Anglo-Saxon burial site close to Canterbury in Kent. Following a volcanic eruption, The ancient Danes presented sunstones to the deities in hopes of restoring the light, as it is believed that ancient societies may have carved sunstones to alleviate volcanic winter. The world